So Alex Poetan Pereira, Mr. Chama, the man who I would refer to as the LeBron James of the UFC, he's come out to Twitter and he's stated that he will not be fighting Ankalaev next. This, of course, has sent a lot of MMA fans into a frenzy. There are a lot of questions spiraling around about what's next. Why did he do this? A lot of people are saying they can't defend Alex for this choice, and that Ankalaev more than deserves this title shot. And I would agree with them. Uh, I agree that Ankalaev is the most sensible next step for Alex if he wants to stay at light heavyweight. Now, the latter half of what I just said, the if he wants to stay at light heavyweight part, is what I really want to focus on, because I can also use that to defend Alex, to defend his choice of not wanting to fight Ankalaev. Because Alex also warned us all that he's going to make it hard for this Poatan versus Ankalaev fight to materialize. And it might be because of how much Ankalaev has disrespected him. It could be because, he's got other ideas about his future. Who really fucking knows? But bottom line, Alex warned us about this happening. But yeah, Poatan, I mean, like I said, the latter half of what I said a bit ago, about if Poatan wants to stay at light heavyweight, is what I would use to defend Alex for his choice. In other words, Alex has options. He has options. Denying Ankalaev a title shot is not the end-all be-all. I understand it sucks and it doesn't make sense, and that Magomed Ankalaev absolutely deserves to get a title shot. I agree with all that. I really do. But I'm not outraged by Poatan saying that Ankalaev isn't next. Because bottom line, Poatan has options. Poatan had options before he even fought Roundtree. And after beating Roundtree, those options are more and more blatant. And those options are going down to middleweight to fight Dricus. And I know it's highly, it's not probable at all. It's most likely not going to happen. I know because of the, crazy cut, that he has to do, the weight cut, the devastating weight cut. I understand it all, but it's still an option. Poatan can move down to middleweight and challenge Dricus for his belt. Option 2, Poatan waits for Dricus to come up to light heavyweight and challenge him if he beats Strickland in their rematch. That is a viable option. Dricus has been talking about, challenging Pereira for his belt. Even Dricus' coach spoke about it. Option 3, which is the most probable option, is a move to heavyweight. It's something that I have, predicted and said will definitely happen sometime in the future for Poatan. It just depends on when, how soon this move to heavyweight will happen. And judging by what Poatan just came on to say about about a possible fight with Ankalaev, that move to heavyweight may come sooner than we all think. So bottom line, Poatan has options. That is that would be my main defense for any claim about Poatan not being able to come back from this, and it's a terrible decision and poor choice and everything like that. Because overall, I'm kind of taking both sides of the fence here. I'm not saying I'm neither chastising Poatan, and I'm also neither crediting Poatan. I'm kind of just what's the word? Indifferent towards this whole situation, because like I said, Ankalaev deserves a title shot. Okay, now he didn't destroy Rakic, he didn't starch Rakic, and I think Rakic won the fight, but the judges chose Ankalaev. Ankalaev won, and I think that warrants a title shot. And on the other side of things, Poatan has options, And Poetan's entire career doesn't rest on whether or not he gives Ankalaev a title shot. And I think it's still a win for Ankalaev because, it's sort of a win for Ankalaev. There's a lot of options. And I'd say it's sort of a win for Ankalaev because if Poetan were to make that move to heavyweight soon, then Ankalaev has a shot, obviously, at the title. And even if Ankalaev waits for Dricus, or by some miracle wants to move back down to middleweight and challenge Dricus, then Ankalaev could fight for an interim. Even right now, Ankalaev could call for an interim title shot. He could call for the creation of an interim belt. I wouldn't say it would be that call would be heard by the UFC or answered, but Ankalaev could make a case for it. And then I also wanted to touch on a couple other moves at light heavyweight that are not very open to Poetan, but they're kind of open depending upon how much the UFC loves Alex Pereira. There's also the option of waiting for the winner of Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka. He could do that. The UFC could potentially allow Poetan to wait for the winner of Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka, and then the winner of that fight gets a shot at Alex, and Alex will accept that call out. All the while ignoring Magomed Ankalaev. Which I'm not saying is right, okay? Like I said, Ankalaev deserves that shot. It's just dependent upon whether or not Alex will give it to him, which, judging by what he said, likely not, and how the UFC will also respond, because the UFC, being, the promotion organization and the organization overall, that's running all of this stuff, the UFC could force Alex to fight Ankalaev. They did it to Merab. They forced Merab to fight Umar. They could potentially force Alex to fight Ankalaev. I don't know what consequences would follow, but that is also an option. So overall, there's a lot of different ways that the future could pan out, regarding this Magomed Ankalaev title shot situation. And the reason for all of it, for all of this confusion, is the fact that Alex Pereira has options. He's got a ton of options. And they're well-earned options. They are well-earned options. Alex Pereira is a superstar. Like I said, I would refer to him as the LeBron of the UFC. He's got tons of fans, an army of young male fans, young female fans as well, but, just tons and tons of fans all over the world. He's doing all these side quests, constant marketing, constant media coverage. He is just, he is the biggest face in the UFC right now. And John Jones is big, and John Jones is the GOAT. Don't get me wrong about that. But right now, Poetan is the biggest face of the UFC. I would even argue he would be more recognizable than John Jones and many other UFC stars because of the star that he is and has been coming into. But bottom line, this whole "I will not fight Ankalaev" statement, it's got a lot of, moving pieces to it. But you just got to keep in mind the fact that Poetan has options. So let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, but most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next.